Hey, this is Bam Davis and Paul Roberts with West Jordan Fire Department, Heavy Rescue 5-4. Here with another training video on patient packaging in the Stokes basket. Patient packaging is typically the same for whether it be high angle, low angle, high angle vertical. Whichever type of rescue you're going to do, the patient packaging will always remain the same. Again, located with our Stokes basket on the top of the heavy rescue is our orange bag. It has everything included for not only patient packaging, but rigging for high angle, low angle, or vertical high angle, also known as Navy style. You'll see in the basket, we always have a backboard in here. Your patient may or may not need C-spine, but it's definitely more comfortable in the basket with the backboard in there, and it's easier to get the patient out of the backboard once your packaging is complete and you want to transfer them either to an ambulance or helicopter or whatever it be. One note on that, if you are taking C-spine precautions, for me, I like to place the patient on the backboard and then do all my spinal precautions as far as C-collar, spider straps, the very first thing, and then begin your patient packaging in the Stokes basket. That way, when you unpackage them, the last thing that's attached is the spider straps and everything. So all you have to do is take the board out, and you're good to go. Now, with our packaging system right now, you can see we've got it laid open, which means our lashing and our straps that are always attached to the basket generally are all connected up. So it's important that when you get to your patient, you open the basket up and you lay all the lashing, loosen the lashing, get it all out of the way, all the straps out of the way, so that when you do begin your patient packaging, you don't, capture some of those items within either your pelvic harness or your chest harness. It just makes it a lot easier if everything's laid wide open like this. So when we get to our patient, we lay open the basket. We've got our backboard in there. We're going to manipulate our patient into the basket onto the backboard. That's our first step. Okay, now we have our patient in the Stokes basket and we're ready to begin our patient packaging. The first two steps is going to be building a pelvic harness and a chest harness. We now have, that is in the orange bag, the Stokes bag, we have a pre-made pelvic harness that attaches to these yellow straps and a carabiner right here. That will act as your pelvic harness and high point tie-off. And when I say high point tie-off, when we construct a pelvic harness, the purpose of this is to keep the patient from moving down in the basket. So when we're all done connecting the pelvic harness, you can see these straps are tied up high, hence high point tie-off. It's going to keep the patient from moving down in the basket, and we'll connect this carabiner to this red loop right here. For now, I won't do that, and we'll show you how to connect the pelvic harness. Okay, the pelvic harness, as you can see, consists of this middle section with the red loop that just, you place it right here on the low abdomen, and it has two locking rings right here. And basically, you can see as it has it stitched, it looks like it's going straight down. So we'll go straight down underneath the leg of the patient and back up and connect right there. Very, very simple. It's a lot quicker than building a pelvic harness. If you need to build a harness, you can do that as well. It's in our manual, and we'll probably do another video on how to construct a pelvic harness if you don't have this particular CMC rescue harness. Now, once we've got it all in place, we want to make sure it's kind of snug. So we'll tighten it up a little bit, just make sure it's snug. And then we're going to take our carabiner over the shoulders of the patient and connect it here. It's a self-locking carabiner, so you don't have to worry about spin lock or anything. And then we'll want to take these straps and really snug them up with the patient in position. That'll ensure that the patient does not slide down in the basket if we need to manipulate the basket in a downward fashion with feet down. So once that's done, our next step is building the chest harness.
Rolling.
Okay, now we have the patient secured in the basket with the pelvic harness and the high point tie off. Keeps him from sliding down in the basket. Now we're going to build the chest harness, which is going to do just the opposite. It's going to keep him from sliding up in the basket. We'll build the harness and then we do a tie off down low. So it's called a low point tie off, even though it's originated at the chest. We generally only need to do this if we're in the high angle environment, because if he's horizontal this way, he can, there's a chance that we could manipulate the basket head down or feet down, depending on the situation. So we want to make sure that the patient's not going to slide either up or down. When we rig this for low angle ops, we always have the head up. And our attachment points for our main line and our safety line are up at the head. So there's almost zero chance of the patient moving up. So we're okay in the low angle environment just doing the pelvic harness. That's the high point tie off is already pre-rigged to the stretcher and stays in place. And the pelvic harness portion is in the orange bag as we explained earlier. Now for the chest harness, again, this will be located in the orange bag, the Stokes bag. It's a 25-foot section of webbing. We have it marked here in the middle, so you know where the middle is. You want to start, when you start constructing the chest harness, have your partner on one side, yourself on the other side. You're going to want to place the middle of the 25-foot section of webbing right on the center of his chest, of the patient's chest. From here, the excess, we're going to take and go under the arm, under the patient's arm, and we're going to cross it high on his back. And I'm going to give this to my partner. He's going to give it to me. So now, this section of webbing is going down under the arm, crossing on the back, and then he has it. It's coming up right here on his shoulder. So now we're going to lay it straight down, pointing to his feet, and we're going to tie what we call, or what I call, a lay loop. So we throw a loop into it with our free end on the bottom. So you can see this is all the loose end, and it's on the bottom side of my lay loop. Now, with that lay loop in place just like that, I grab the chest section, I take the free end of my webbing, and I'm going to go under and up, just like so. And then I just want to kind of snug that. Okay, now the chest harness is built, but we still don't have a low point tie-off to keep him from traveling up in the basket. So basically what we do is we take these free ends, we're going to go down towards the shin of the patient. It can be anywhere from the knee, to just the lower section of the basket. What that's going to do is keep our patient from traveling that direction. Now, the only thing you have to do here is locate one of these uprights, and you're just going to tie a clove hitch around that upright. clove hitch is a tensioning knot. And then you can just finish it off with a couple round turns, either back on the rope or the webbing itself or to a different upright. Round turn or half hitch, whatever. And then just throw the remainder of the webbing inside the basket. Okay, so as Paul's finishing that, our next step, we've got our high point tie off, our low point tie off with pelvic harnesses and chest harnesses. And now we're going to lash the patient into the basket. Lashing can be done a number of ways by taking a 30-foot section of webbing with a lark's foot on the top rail by the feet, and then basically just zigzagging the top rail, making crosses. You just want to make sure you're aware of any airway problems with the patient. You don't want to cross around the neck, so you want to keep those type of things in mind. Fortunate for us, we have the Cmc Quick Lashing. Again, this is another item that's always attached to the Stokes basket. It makes it very, very simple and quick to lash the patient into the basket. You'll see it has these little loops here, blue to blue, red to red. You can see right here on this side of the basket I have a red hook. Paul's just going to clip that in there, and it has a little safety clip so it doesn't come undone. There's 2 red on this side, 2 blue on that side, so I'll do the same. You want your patient's arms inside the lashing. Okay, now once we've got it all connected up, down by the feet is where we tighten these straps. Your partner can take and just snug from the head down while the other one takes up the slack. Now, especially if you're in a high angle environment, you want to make sure that those are snug, to keep the patient really secure in the basket. The last step is just the Stokes adjustable straps. There's 4 straps that are just quick connect to the opposite side, and you just snug those down and you're ready to go. Okay, this patient's packaged and ready for the rescue op, whether it be high angle, low angle, or high angle Navy style.
What episode was that?